Hi, I'm Angelica Prather. I have some exciting news. I'm on TV. Yes, you heard me right. I'm on television. The Chair's Blueprint is coming to you in the midst of your home, sitting on the couch with a blanket, in the midst of your salon suite, in the midst of your break room, or it can be your Monday's educational class for your employees in the salon. So what does that mean? Let me just tell you what that means, okay? You can download Dream World Media Group on your Roku television or on your Roku device. It's free. All you have to do is download, open, and connect with me live. And if you miss it, don't worry, it's on demand. You can watch it over and over and over again. So let's connect, share with your family and friends, hair besties, and let's go. Bringing some gems, dropping the best of the best in the industry, giving you all that I have so that you can win in your business. Let's go. Well, hello, welcome to this week to the Chair's Blueprint. I am your host, Angelica Prather, and my ultimate goal for the Chair's Blueprint is empowering beauty professionals and entrepreneurs to carve out your unique path of success and take a seat on your throne. Why are you in business? To leave a legacy. If you know you're in business of any sort, beautypreneur, entrepreneurship, mamapreneur, whatever you are leaving a legacy. Why are you in business, right? And so before I was any of those things, I have been a licensed hairstylist, and which brought me to this path of now actually helping beauty professionals. So if you're new to me and you've never been exposed to me, I'm an income strategist, business coach, and a speaker, and I support beauty professionals through my signature program, Charge Your Worth Academy, which is a 6-month group coaching program to help you articulate your value, charge accurately for your services so that you're not a slave to your business. And we want you to build recurring revenue in your business, because being behind the chair can actually be time consuming and can suck you in and suck you dry. And so we wanted to put some actionable steps to help you win in the area of finances, because we know time is correlated to money. And since we are selling time, I want to make sure that you have the principles and the strategy to actually charge for your time wisely. And so if you are new here, I'm a big component of community. And so when I'm talking about community, I'm talking about Charge Your Worth Academy. I actually created my own signature community that's off of social media, allowing you to actually connect with other people in the industry or not in the industry. So you can just go to chargeyourworth.com and it's going to be on the screen, and you can actually go there. Just put your email. It's not going to cost you anything. You will get a thank you for joining, and you can just muzzle around, find who you want to connect with, because ultimately, if you're in business, it's going to take community building, and which I have a special guest today, who's actually, this is her jam. And so I want to go to a quick ad break, and then she's going to come up and talk all about time and how we can steward our time so wisely, which is key for anybody who has a business, or if you're a beautypreneur. It is vital that you steward your time so wisely. So we'll be right back after this break. Hi, I'm Angelica Prather. I've been a hairstylist for 17 years, so I know exactly what it takes to run a business. But I wanted to step up and show up and support my own community so they can start charging their worth. No longer are we on the struggle bus. Nobody has time for that. So I've created Charge Your Worth Academy. You have me teaching you one-on-one in a group coaching setting, implementing the systems and strategies, the recipe to really win financially. Nobody's on a broke wheel. But if you're ready to charge your worth and you're tired of figuring it out all by yourself, this is how you can join. go to my website, which is angelicaprather.com. And if you happen to be here right now, there is a button down below. Click that button and be ready to join. And so just a little bit of tip, you also get a complimentary 100% free income strategy call. And so what that is you're just talking to me one-on-one, getting to know where you are, where you desire to go, and what's missing from your business. And if you're a perfect fit, you'll join the program. I'll see you soon. Well, welcome back. As you heard, Charge Your Worth Academy is currently in open enrollment, so you don't want to miss out. If you are at that place where you're like, I know I need to increase my prices, or I know I need help, mentorship, and actually community to help me get to the goals, the financial goals that you want to accomplish, then by all means, in the show notes of this video, you will be able to go directly to my booking link, and we'll just have that conversation to see where you are, right? And so today I have a special guest, Marissa Lonick, and she's going to be sharing about how we can steward our time, right? And so from the title of the show, we talked about time management for busy hairstylists. And so even if you're not a hairstylist, you're going to receive value from it because she has her special niche of who she actually helps. And so before I get into bringing her up to the stage, I really want to stress about community. So if you have any questions or something catches you or you're catching the replay, put hashtag replay in the comments, and you can even tag Marissa and she will be able to go back and comment to you if you would like to connect with her further. All of her information is going to be in the description of this video, so do not worry. So without further ado, let's bring up Marissa. Hello.
Hi. Thank you so much for having me. I'm so excited to be here.
Thank you for coming. It is an honor to have you here, number one. And then secondly, I love, like I said before, community is everything. So I love that you're here, right? And going to share your level of expertise, but tell the people who you are.
Yes. So my name is Marissa Lonick. I am the founder of an organization called Mama Work It, where I help busy moms with time management, productivity, goal achievement, you name it. I am a working mom of 4 kiddos, ages 8 and under. And yeah, I am just excited to talk to you today about this topic. This is so my jam, as you said. And I just can't wait to share some really good tips and strategies for the beauty professionals or whoever is listening.
Awesome. Well, I'm excited because you said something. I'm a mom as well. I'm a mom of 2. So I can never imagine what it's like duplicating that number, and that you have the time, you're making the time to be here because something that I think we probably share in common is you want more people to have an impact, right? Like you wouldn't be
Yes.
doing this. You could be somewhere else doing things with your kids because they're only going to be kids for such a short period of time, right? And so now you're spending your time actually giving, right? And I think that's so vital. And I want to highlight that because time is so precious. And for a
Yeah.
mother of 4, there's a lot of things that you probably have to do throughout the day in order to make their day successful, right? And so by you being here, you're actually taking that time, and I could not be more grateful. So I
Well,
am
thank you. I'm
excited.
honored. I'm honored. I mean, this is my life's work, obviously in conjunction with motherhood and being
Mhm.
a wife and all those other roles that I play. So I am just thrilled to be here, excited to share some good information and yes, have that impact. That is definitely what I want to leave as far as, a part of my legacy.
Oh, yes. And I love that because that means that we share a lot in common. So we're going to get into today's topic, right?
Yes.
Just all about time management. And I think one quote that I had found, like, or you hear people say is like, time is money, right? But I often think about that is that that's a currency that we'll never get back is time. And so when we're not stewarding or thinking about our time strategically, we end up wasting a lot of it. And so we actually are spending our time in the wrong place and not prioritizing things. But I know that we have to go to the root of the problem. And so that would be the mindset around time. So give us the juice, like the root cause of why people are either not spending their time or what's the mindset we should be even thinking about when it comes to our time.
Yes. I love this question because, You can be the most organized, the most, effective planner out there. You can have your spreadsheets in place, your calendar all set to a T. But if you don't have the right mindset in place when it comes to your time, you're going nowhere fast.
Mm.
So, yeah, let's talk about that a little bit.
Yeah,
Um,
let's go
most
there.
people, most people, I think out there have this very interesting, like love-hate relationship with time, right?
Mm.
So time is always going so fast when they're having fun, and it's really, really slow when things are not as fun.
Mm.
And they sort of look at time as this frenemy in their life. And they come at time with this mindset of lack,
Mm.
right? I don't have time. There's never enough time, rather than looking at time from a mindset of abundance, a
Mm.
mindset of having enough time for what matters to them. And I know you can relate to this even on the money side, right? You don't want to have this scarcity mindset about money, because then you'll never make enough of it. But if you
Mm-hmm.
come at it with a mindset of abundance, a mindset of gratitude for what you have, that is going to amplify and grow. And that's very much the same principle when you look at your time versus your money.
Oh.
So as I mentioned, coming at time with a mindset of scarcity, like saying things like, I don't have time,
Mm.
what happens? Well, you start to believe that, and that is your truth. That is what you live.
Mm.
So
Mm.
you are always feeling stretched too thin.
Mm.
You're always feeling like there's never enough time out there for you. And you're kind of just stuck in this cycle, this vicious cycle of just do, never resting, never really having time for things that matter to you. And I don't know about you, but that's not how I want to live my life.
Not close.
Yeah.
Not even
So
close.
we need to start looking at time from this mentality of abundance, right? And how
Mm-hmm.
do we do that? Well, we flip the script even just in the word choices we're using. So instead of saying things like I don't have time, we start saying things like it's not a priority to me.
Mm.
So even by making that one simple shift, I don't have time versus it's not a priority to me, massive change happens in your relationship with time. So let's exemplify this for a minute. Let's talk about exercise, which is something I know many people out there often say, like, I don't have time to exercise. I mean, I've been guilty of saying that. I don't know about you, but I've been guilty of saying
Yes.
that. Yeah. So instead of saying, I don't have time to work out, you could start replacing that with, it's not a priority to me to work out. And one of two things is going to happen when you say that. Number one, you're going to be like, you know what? Right now, maybe it's not a priority to me. Maybe
Mm.
in this particular season, it's not important or a priority to me to exercise because I had a baby 3 months ago who doesn't sleep through the night.
Mm-hmm.
Or it's the holiday season and I'm working really long hours to get all my clients in and looking good for the holidays, right? Or
Yeah.
I just got over COVID and I'm just not feeling my best yet. So, whatever it is, if this particular season, it's not the right time, it's not a priority, that's cool. Own it. You're making that decision. Let go of the guilt, let go of the shame, and move on.
Mm.
Right. And that's one way. And automatically you feel better.
Yeah.
The second thing you're going to feel, right? So you either feel that way or you're going to feel this way. This way means, ooh, it's not a priority to me to work out. That doesn't feel right. That
Mm-hmm.
doesn't feel good. I don't feel good about that decision. So what do I need to do to make it a priority, right? What
Mm-hmm.
am I going to do? Do I have to wake up earlier? Do I have to go to sleep a little later? Do I have to use my lunch hour? Do I have to take the stairs instead of the elevator? What do I need to do to make it a priority so that I can feel like I am living in my truth, in my values of how I want to be using my time?
Oh, that's so good because there's so much that you said there that I can like, oh, that was good. Oh, that was good, which I'm going to go back and watch this myself because not only are you just talking to the audience, you're actually talking to me. I actually made an executive decision in my own life that now is a season for working out and taking care of myself a little bit more. Now, I believe in self-care, but I knew that I had to step it up because I'm getting a little older and I want my mindset to start off a certain way in the morning. And when I work out in the mornings, I know that the rest of my day kind of sets the tone for the rest
Yeah.
of the day. And I knew that before it wasn't a priority because I had two babies that are 14 months apart. I didn't have time to really wrap my brain around my reality, which is I have two small babies at 14 months apart, right? So And then when it got to a point where I said I didn't have time, one of the things that I had to fall back is like, why am I not making the time? Because now they're a little older. And so that reality really hit me in the face and was like, hello, you got time. You can make time. There's so much that you might be scrolling or so much that you're doing. But I know for beautypreneurs, they're so focused on building success or getting clientele, right? And so a lot of the times that's the focus. So their mindset is there, and it's like, if I'm in the salon a little bit more, or I'm grinding it out a little bit more, which I'm not a component for that. Like, I don't suggest that we grind it out. You end up getting to this mentality of like, the more I have, like the more clients I have, then the more successful I am. But I often say you can be booked and busy, or you could be broke and burnt out. And broken doesn't, or broke doesn't necessarily mean that you're broken your finances, right? It could mean that your body's breaking down, or you're exhausted. Like, your mind is like broken down. It's like, if I do another blow dry, if I'm in the salon any longer, I am going to like snap. It's like, but I wanted the success so badly. So what would you say to a person that's like on that shift and that grinding motion that is literally going to lead out to burnout? How do they shift backwards to say, how am I stewarding my time?
I think it all comes down to intentionality, So first of all, clarity, knowing what you want, right? If you know that you want X as your goal, as your success long term, well, what do you need to do to get there? And I'm not talking about, I want to make, $10,000 this month. So I have to have, I'm talking about long term, right? If you want that success, that financial success, that lifestyle that comes with success, because nobody thinks I want this number, but I want to like bust my booty to get there every single day, day in and day out, right?
Yes.
They think I want this number because I want to take vacations. I want to live in a big house. Like, I want to like carry the Gucci purse, like whatever it is, right?
Yeah.
They want the lifestyle, not just the number in the bank. So you have to treat yourself almost like you have to embody that lifestyle from the beginning. Now, I'm not saying like go buy yourself a $5,000 purse if you don't have the money to buy the purse. Okay,
Yeah.
that's not what I mean. I mean, live your life with those values, with that intention. Spend your time intentionally. Okay, so like, if you have a few minutes in between clients, if you have, a break, well, don't fill that time with garbage. Don't fill that time just scrolling your phone or chit-chatting, gossiping with your friend over here. Fill it with things that are going to help you get to that lifestyle choice that you want. Fill it with planning, with strategy. Fill it with, connecting with your kids on FaceTime for a few minutes, because being a great mom is part of that plan. Fill it with whatever is going to get you closer and really embody the person and the lifestyle you want to lead.
So powerful. So powerful, because I don't think that we even correlate our phones to like sucking up our time, right?
Oh,
And
yeah.
I know if you
Huge
have a,
time suck.
it's huge. I had at one point had to take social media off my phone after I had my last daughter, because I wanted to be more intentional about being present there. And sometimes when you're doing hair or you're so busy, taking care of your clients, you could be spending that time, those gap little times that you have, you could be spending your time doing other things. But I know that if you're on your feet and you're working and you're doing a blow dry and all the stuff that comes with being a beautypreneur, you can find yourself using that time to just scroll instead of giving that 15-minute break to maybe clean up between your clients, or to, like you have mentioned before about meditation, going into a mindset of like, I'm just going to close my eyes, and when that bell rings, I can go and take that client down,
Yeah.
so that your time is valued, and steward it so well. And I tell a lot of beautypreneurs, put fake appointments in between, or put COVID clean checkout. If you do 15 minutes in between each client, it's not going to take you 15 minutes to disinfect and all those different things. But if you do that and you take about 5 or 6 clients throughout the day, you end up getting several time back to just recharge, because you can't pour into someone from an empty cup, especially when you're at your salon
Yes.
for so many hours on end, right? That's where you're spending the bulk of your time. And I think when you're imparting on people, you need to make sure that you can recharge during the day, throughout the day. So you're not
Yeah.
taking client after client after client. So I love how you just stress about being intentional about your time. And I don't think that sometimes we even think in time that way or even get clear about time. We reflect after.
Yeah. Yeah. And that comes with a little bit of planning.
Mm-hmm.
That comes with grace and flexibility, because we all know, even with the planning, especially right now in the season we're in, it does not always go as planned.
Oh no.
Right. So we really just have to be in that presence, like you're mentioning. And the thing is, when you're at the level of stress and burnout at that level, it's so hard to be in that mental space, right? Like, as hard as you try to have a real conversation with your client, or like to really be intentional, like, you got to clean up that burnout mess, which takes up time, right? So like,
Yes.
it's great to proactively get ahead of this, is what I mean. Like, so many people will be like, I just have nothing left in my brain, so I have to scroll social
Yeah.
media, or I have to just watch TV and do something really like vegging out in that sense.
Mm-hmm.
It's because you're not doing the pre-work to take care of yourself.
Ooh, the pre-work. So let's talk about the pre-work
Let's do
because
it.
I don't think that even myself, when it came to like having children and running a salon at that time, I had my schedule so mapped out for my business that with my kids, because they didn't have like they had a schedule, I knew their sleep time and stuff like that. I didn't really plan out the day. So that pre-day or even thinking about it, because I was exhausted, like just keeping it all the way real, I don't think I really even thought about a pre-day. So give us some like context around that, and maybe even a strategy of like, what does that look like?
Yeah. So when I say this pre-work, I don't necessarily mean a morning routine, although that absolutely can count as it.
Mm-hmm.
And I can go into many tips about having a good morning routine. I did a whole podcast on this because I think
Ooh,
this is crucial and important.
yeah.
But I want to say it's more like the proactive of that filling your cup before it gets depleted,
Mm.
right? It's kind of keeping it at like, 75 to 100%, like in a good non-failing space, right? Because when you start getting under like 70%, like that's a D,
Mm.
right? Like you're on the verge of failure there. That's not good. Like, you're getting depleted, you're getting cranky, you're getting resentful, you're getting burnt out, you're getting all those feelings, which then again, you got to clean up and spend time doing that, rather than
Mm.
have all the energy and motivation to actually like make the money, have the successful career, be the awesome mom, wife, spouse, friend, daughter, sister, all of it.
Mm.
So I mean it in a way of like, you got to take care of you before you take care of them,
Ooh,
right?
say
You
that
got to
again.
have, yeah, if that's a workout in the morning, if that's journaling, if that's prayer, if that's taking your breaks throughout the day and having that accountability for yourself. Like, no one's going to come up to you, Angelica, and be like, "Oh, Angelica, you look tired. Why don't you take a breather between these clients?" No, you got to be that person for you.
Mm. Yes. Be your best cheerleader. Like, and I think that's something that, because as for beautypreneurs and for mothers, all the roles that we wear, we immediately put this thing like, oh, I'm humble, or I want to just be of service. And I tell them, you're a service provider. So that means you're constantly giving. The client is gaining something. So you're pouring out way more than actually the reciprocity is coming back to you. And when you don't realize that you need to recharge that, and that's not just by getting good rest, that's one component of it. But there's like this mindset, it's like, I got to be in the salon every single day, or I can't take a Saturday off. I got to be there from, 9 in the morning, have all this availability. And that is a trap, because you're actually not thinking of the planning process of like, okay, if I have these 4 days that I'm available between these times, then I need to figure out where the clients are going to come from that can fit in that time slot. Because we know when a grocery store closes, that's it, right? You got,
Yeah.
it's done. And so they have actually, that time that they're closing is a boundary. And I think that people don't have that for their time, especially when they are entrepreneurs in their own right. So they don't even
Yeah.
give themselves permission to say, oh, I'm not working past that point, or I'm not going to go past that point, or I'm not going to take this client, because their mindset is in a different place. Their mindset is in that scarcity mentality, as you mentioned earlier. It's like, I got to
Mhm.
get it. I got to go for it. And I got to make these people happy. I always say, well, I don't always say it, but I used to. But no is a complete sentence. And in business, you don't have
Oh,
to say
yes.
no, but you can be very strategic about the language that you're using about, unfortunately, I'm not available at that time. And that is still a no. That's creating that boundary and sticking to that boundary. And I don't think
Yeah.
that we do that with our time so easily. Down to the conversation. If a client calls you and wants to talk for a long period of time, you can say, let's book a consultation because I'm in between clients. All of those things count because those are time sucking things. But that doesn't take away from your customer service. You can still offer amazing customer service with great boundaries. So I love that you said be intentional about the pre work. So you gave us context there. So let's talk about multitasking, because this is something that I think women are very good at. Um, and we do it so easily, but we don't realize that it ends up running us to the ground.
Yeah. Yeah.
And that is scary because I remember someone's like, you are such a good multitasker. But when they said it to me, one time it hit me and I was like, so you keep asking me more things. Like you have no, because I'm able to do it and I haven't complained, or you don't have a problem with asking me to do that, right? And which is the same thing for clients. If you constantly take a client that's always running late, that's always last minute to show up, or doesn't show up on time, or doesn't know show, and you keep creating that yes environment, you end up multitasking and doing more than what you have to do. So I'm a firm believer of not doing that. So give us some like thought process behind multitasking, because I think women struggle with that.
Yes, absolutely. I think you and I are big fans of personal development, and I'm sure you have read many a time or listened to many TED Talks or YouTube chats where some really successful people out there
Mm-hmm.
are saying, hey, don't multitask. And listen, I'm here for it. I get it. I know where it's coming from. It's coming from a good place. I understand, because what happens when you multitask, your mind is in two different places, or maybe
Yes.
more than two different places, right?
Mm-hmm.
You're not fully kind of present to the task at hand. So I understand where that's coming from and I get it. And if that is your philosophy and that is what you want to follow, more power to you. I'm a mom of 4 kids. I run a company. Before this, I was a corporate executive running a company, momming 4 kids during a pandemic. So I'm going to be real with you and say multitasking sometimes happens in this house, even still. Okay. And that's just part of my life right now, part of the season I'm in. Maybe one day it won't be. That would be awesome. Right now, it's part of my life and it's probably part of yours.
Yes.
So I have come up with a mantra, a philosophy, like a way to embrace this multitasking without actually feeling like a hot mess express, right? Because that is often how we feel when we're multitasking.
Mm-hmm.
The thing is, we feel that way when we multitask because we're probably choosing to multitask the wrong things.
Ooh.
Yeah. So the mantra is you multitask the mindless, you solo task the mindful.
Mm.
Let's dive into that a little bit. So,
Yes.
multitasking the mindless, what does this mean? Well, there are lots of things I'm sure that you do every single day that you can do on autopilot that come so easily, so naturally to you, maybe that aren't even that important, but they still got to get done.
Mm.
I'm talking like doing dishes, prepping snacks or lunches for your kids, right? Like packing a diaper bag, like all things that are kind of just like autopilot that you do, right?
Mm-hmm.
Maybe it's even in the salon, like prepping some foils or things that you need, right? That you kind of can do like while doing something else. So these are the things you multitask. These are the things that are not that important that your full brain is present for. You can do while doing something else. Maybe there are things you don't even love doing and you pair them with something more enjoyable. Like you
Mm.
pop in a podcast that was going to help you, right? You watch Angelica's show here. You do something that's really going to propel you further, right? Or
Mm-hmm.
maybe you pair it with something else that's also mindless. I don't know. You think about that. But those are the things you multitask. Those are the things that help maximize your efficiency. The
Mm.
things you solo task are the things that you want to be fully present for. You need to be fully present for. That's time with your family. That's having a real connected conversation with your partner, with your significant other, right?
Mm.
That is talking to your clients and really listening to what they're saying, right? Maybe giving them some real responses, not just like, You want your client to leave your appointment not only looking like $1,000,000, but feeling like they got VIP queen treatment. That is the experience that is going to make someone leave that salon and tell 20 friends to go see you without you having to do any more marketing than you're already doing.
That's so good. So, so good. I love it. Keep going. Go. If you got more, give it to it.
No, I mean, that's it. Like, that's it. You multitask the mindless, you solo task the mindful, you decide what's mindless and kind of not that crucial and important, right? If the foil is 1/4 inch off than the last one, nobody's hair is going to fall out because of that, right? And if, you don't have that in-depth conversation, someone's going to have a pretty crappy experience like at your salon, and you don't want that. Like, you don't want that bad publicity, that bad experience happening. So, really choose wisely here, because when you do this, you're able to accomplish so much more. You feel good doing it at the end of the day, which is most important. And it's just like overall a better way to sort of manage your time and live.
Yeah. So I love so much that you said, but I want to ask you this question. When do you delegate? Because I think sometimes as multitaskers, if we're good at it, and we have to, and I'm going to go back and like marinate that in. And actually, as I'm going throughout the day, what can I, think about that is, I want to be solo task, right? I want to make sure that I'm present for this, right? And so I love that mantra, and I'm going to have to adapt it. I just have to tell you, it's going to be a part of my daily routine. But when do you delegate? Because I know that for beautypreneurs, like they'll have an assistant, or they might, it's like, oh, I just only trust myself. And you can get so much done if you either build a community around you, like depending on what that goal is for you. That when do you delegate? Because I know that so many people struggle with delegation and automation, right? And I'm a big component of automating certain parts of your life. But I'm also a person that's also very key on delegating certain responsibilities as well. So take a deep dive into that.
Let's go. You delegate all the time. You delegate all the time. All right. We need to get out of our own way. We need to get out of our own way. Done is better than perfect. Okay. Done is better than perfect. Somebody else can do that job probably just as well, if not better than you, especially if you don't like doing it. I'm not talking about your area of expertise, like your service, like the root of what you do that only you can do, right? I'm not talking about the certain level of experience, of expertise, of what you do behind that chair, of, the quality time with certain individuals in your life, those certain things. I'm talking about all the other garbage that takes up the time, that the little things that pile up and take up space in your mental load that you're either worried about doing, that really long to-do list that you're trying to get done, all the like little tiny things. Maybe they're not even that little and you just don't really like doing them. I'm talking about those things. Those things that suck up your time, suck up your energy, you do resentfully, you do because you feel like you have to. Those are the things you need to give someone else the opportunity to grow, to learn, to feel responsible, to feel needed, to feel like they play a part in your very busy life. You're not only delegating to help yourself, you're helping others by doing that.
So powerful, because I think that's something that we need to stress so that it's time to like get out of your own way and to delegate, because you're going to then build community around you. And that's usually where the impact really, really takes place too. When someone has the opportunity to work with you one-on-one and you can sharpen your skill sets and get even better at what you're super good at and let them shine at what they're good at. I always say I delegate the things, not only the things that I don't like doing, but I also delegate the things that I'm not strong at. And not that I don't want to get stronger, but I can learn from somebody who's strong at it, because they might have different systems and strategies to teach me. So a lot of the times, don't just look at like, I don't want to, hire anybody. I don't want to be bothered with anybody. I just want to do it all myself. I think that's a recipe for disaster. And I think that's a part of success that is not really talked about. And I often say for myself, the only reason why I was really successful when I talk about community, I also talk about components of my community being people that I actually paid, right? That became a part of my level of success. I couldn't do it without them, right? I couldn't get to that pinnacle with if I didn't have somebody carrying me in the weight. So you build the foundation, right? So that's beautiful. Build the foundation of your business, but then bring people that can actually hold the foundation. And then it grows and it blossoms into something so amazing because you got out of your way so that you can continue to grow. And I don't think that people put that correlation together. So I always say you want to get people who are planted and that are roots in your business so that it can continue to grow. And that's how you water it. I think as delegation as the water of a plant. So you plant the seed, that's you as a CEO, you're planting the seed, and then it's starting to water. And you can only water by yourself so much until it starts to grow, and it needs more water. So more water means more people, right? More people, and then it just grows and it becomes something amazing. So I love that you touched upon that. And I think some people shy away from it when I talk about delegation.
Yeah, it's hard. Control is hard to let go of. I get it. I've been there.
Been there, done that, got the t-shirt, right? Even with our children, right? When they're going to school, you're like, I hope the teacher, can get and understand my kid and all of those different things. You're just not even ready. Even though I was ready, I was like, my child was like, bye, mom. I was like, bye. I think I equipped him to leave me. I was like, see you later. So he was really happy to go to school. We both were. It was like a joyous day. Some people asked me, did you cry? No, I did not. I was really happy for him. I was like, yes, baby, you conquer, you soar, you do something great in life. We gonna be good, right? But that I digress. That was my delegation, right? I think that we have a responsibility to equip other people, and bringing us back to like time and being time that we steward and being very clear about the time of being in this place. Like every season comes to an end, right? And I think that sometimes we don't really plan for the future because we have goals, right? So we can set goals or we want to make more money. And even in my program, it's called Charge Your Worth Academy. Sometimes that keeps them stuck in this, okay, now I'm making the money. What next, right? And so they just kind of stay there. But there's a season that's going to change, right? And when that season change and you haven't prepared, I would say it's not really retirement, but my older self is going to be mad at the choices that I made when I was a little younger. So I'm like, listen, you better get it good now for the Angelica that's 60 and 70, right? And I don't think that sometimes we think about that the season of our business or our life is going to change. So how would you say to prepare for like the future mindset, right? And really stewarding your time for now, that your time, how you spend it now, is going to reflect in the future.
Yeah, I think that it's always good to be a little bit uncomfortable. You can't get too comfortable where you're at because, like you said, things will change. Like it's bound to happen. So if you can get comfortable, like being uncomfortable, if that makes any sense, right?
Yes.
If you can get comfortable understanding, hey, being a little bit outside my comfort zone is a good thing because not only am I going to be growing all the time, like nonstop, I am going to be able to handle all these things that happen because I know what it's like to feel uncomfortable already. Like it's my normal, right? It's sort of my baseline. So I think really just being in that state of mind and that mentality of kind of always being up for growth. That doesn't mean like you're always going a mile a minute and trying to like improve and add new services and add new, business lines and all these things. It just kind of means like you're not in a space where you're just coasting.
Okay. Love it. No coasting. I love that. And you said something that I say a lot. And I said, I had to get comfortable with being uncomfortable and just being totally transparent. It was like pulling teeth for me to retire from the chair and kind of step into this new space because I had been helping people, but I've been hiding. And it was a season of uncomfortable. It's always uncomfortable, even showing up and putting yourself out there to really help, because everybody has a different opinion. And so that is a season of being uncomfortable. But I knew if I didn't step into this new season, that there was a part that I would always be holding back to what was, right? It's like I'm looking behind my shoulder, and that's kind of sometimes how we do about our day when it's coming to an end, or we're looking, oh, I haven't made any money at all. If you're constantly looking back, that's also a part of what you were saying as a scarcity mindset. And I think that's something that brings us kind of full circle of like, it really starts in the mind. How you manage your time, how you steward your relationships, how you steward over your business, how you grow your business in relationships with your clients is really reflects into really you and then the mindset. And so I'm so happy that you were here and gave us a great mantra, by the way. That's going to be the highlight of this show. Because if you
Yes.
haven't gotten that, that's something that you should be saying all the time, to remind yourself. And I'm going to add it to my arsenal of things that I need to be talking to myself, because sometimes I can find myself doing too many things. So before you go, tell us all about how we can connect with you, because you guys got a chance to get a blip of her. She has a podcast. She has so much. So I want to let the folks know how they can find you, how they can best connect with you, and what else you got going
Yes,
on.
thank you. Yeah,
Yes.
thank you so much. So, best place to find me is my website. It's mamaworkit.com, M-A-M-A. I know there's lots of ways to spell mama. That's how I spell it. mamaworkit.com. You can subscribe to my free newsletter there. I send one weekly. You can book a totally free 45-minute breakthrough call with me. I would love to chat and connect with you.
Yes.
Yeah, so head on over there. There's lots of free resources, the blog, the podcast, as you mentioned. And then on social media, I do hang out on Instagram and Facebook at the handle Let Mama Work It.
Ooh, let mama work it. I love it. I love it. I
Yes.
love it. It has been a joy and a privilege having you here. I learned a lot, and I hope that anyone who is maybe tuning in after this, if you got questions for Marissa, definitely drop it in the chat. She'll be gladly to come, and all of her information is going to be listed below this video. So I know that you mentioned you have a book coming out, and we didn't talk about that, but I do want to highlight that, because what the book, even the title is like, ooh, I cannot wait to get my hands on it. So tell us about that book before we let you go.
Yeah. So the new book is called Biz Momagement.
Ooh.
The first book I wrote was called Time Momagement, and now this one's called Biz Momagement. And this one is really geared at the mama who is looking to go from employee to entrepreneur. It
Mm,
is written in a very coaching, very New York direct style. I know you
yes.
can relate. Yeah, and it's really just a combination of personal stories about how I made that transition, good tips, tricks, resources, a little
Mm.
bit of humor in there, and just a really good guide. I think if you are in that space of wanting to transition and you're a mom, it's a great read for that.
Oh, that's so awesome. So you heard that, guys. If you are ready for all of that and that's the season you're in, you can find her on our website. And I can't wait till the book is released. So what I'll do is when it's released, Marissa has to come back on, give us a little snippet of it,
Yeah.
something that's like really juicy for our community, because I think this is about impacting together as women. Whether you're a mom or you aspire to be a mom, we all are at different seasons of our lives, and you might be becoming a part of that season, right? And I think it's so important to lock arms with other women that are strong so that we can actually all win. Nobody has to be on the struggle bus at all. And I feel
There's room for everybody on the
room for it all, right? It's so much room. So just wait backstage. We're going to take a quick ad break, and then we'll get into closing our show today. All righty. Hi, I'm Angelica Prather. I have some exciting news. I'm on TV. Yes, you heard me right. I'm on television. The Chair's Blueprint is coming to you in the midst of your home, sitting on the couch with a blanket, in the midst of your salon suite, in the midst of your break room, or it can be your Monday's educational class for your employees in the salon. So what does that mean? Let me just tell you what that means, okay? You can download Dream World Media Group on your Roku television or on your Roku device. It's free. All you have to do is download, open, and connect with me live. And if you miss it, Don't worry, it's on demand. You can watch it over and over and over again. So let's connect, share with your family and friends, hair besties, and let's go. Bringing some gems, dropping the best of the best in the industry, giving you all that I have so that you can win in your business. Let's go. So it was a pleasure having Marissa on, and I hope that you guys receive true value, because when I bring on guests, it is not to just highlight how amazing or my success journey. Listening to other people that have stewarded areas in their life and are expert in those particular areas, that is key in business. And if you only learn from people who are in the space or in the field that you desire, right, that you just love, you're actually not expanding your mind. And so I know for a fact that you are going to get value from it. And so if anything resonates with you, put in the chat. And then we're here every Wednesday at 12:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, so you can catch the Chair's Blueprint. We're also on podcast, so if you would like to connect with us there, it's just the Chair's Blueprint, and you can find us on all of the major locations of where they have podcasts. And we're also on Roku, so don't forget about that. I'll see you next time. Alrighty, have a good day.